Did you know that the video game industry generated $116 billion back in 2017? And what is coming for blockchain gaming is going to be so much bigger than those numbers. And it's going to happen in the coming 5 years, with much of the action probably just a year away. Now, in blockchain gaming, I turned over $4,100 in investment into $400,000 over 3 years. In a little blockchain game that nobody was talking about, at least until they were. Do you know what I regret about that, though? I sold early. That investment went all the way to $12 million. And that was just the first wave of blockchain gaming adoption. There is more to come. And today we are joined by one of our longtime Rainmaker family members that has been knee-deep in the research in the blockchain gaming space to talk about what he is seeing the blockchain gaming and what he thinks are going to be great coming games. He also has a YouTube channel called Trove. Welcome to the Crypto Rain Gaming channel. I'm your host, Jay Rain, and if you are wanting to stay up to date on the blockchain gaming revolution, well then join us. Do note I'm not a financial advisor. None of this will be financial advice. We do want to give a shout out to the Patreon members. We do have a private Discord that our Patreon members get access to. Now make it rain on that like button and strap in for the show. And let's welcome T, or Freelander as we know you on Discord, or Trove by your YouTube channel.
Hi, happy to be here.
Yeah, so good to have you. Now you've been knee deep in what's been going on for really the last 2 years in blockchain gaming.
Yep, it's been a wild ride. Bitcoin had that double peak, and on the second peak was more the game craze, and I got in on that. Still hodling for dear life. So yeah, it's been quite an adventure.
Almost everyone that I know that's come into the blockchain space came in during some kind of massive pump, because that's what gets our attention and wakes us up. The smart ones, though, are the ones that stick around during the boring times, and they do research and they pick up more and look at more. Now, you've been digging in since then, and it's almost 2 years ago now. What games or companies in the blockchain gaming space have been on your mind as you look at what's coming down the pipeline?
I don't have the tab up for it, but is my screen shared? Yeah, it is. Okay. Wagme Games is what I'm currently riding this month. Wouldn't recommend getting in right now. Sorry. Unless you just want a month and a half long trade going through. But
so this one's on your mind. Why is this one on your mind? And you say a month or a month and a half long trade, that's not a very long period for a lot of what I do. Why do you say that?
Well, I've been in this trade for over a year now. And so it was at lows until the spring, and they've pulled out all the stops, got listed on exchanges, got tons of news still to come out. It's about 5 times the price that it was this spring. I believe it's still got a ways to go, because it's their marketing campaign as far as to Web3 people hasn't started yet, and they just signed a deal with one of the best PR companies in Web3.
So when you wouldn't get into it, it's because of this massive green candle that that's why it's on your mind, but that's also why you're like, well, it's a little bit late, because otherwise you'd be chasing into a massive green candle.
Now, on that, the market cap's still like 26 million. For fear of giving price predictions, I'll give it anyway. I would guess. I mean, we are in a bear market, but the amount of exposure and they haven't started their marketing campaign to Web2 players either, which is their primary audience in the first place for actually getting the game out. So I would guess by the end of the year or maybe October, it might be in the $100 million market cap range. But it's just hard to say in a bear market with that shoot up. It's like I'm a little like, should I take some profits? Should I let it ride? Because there's so many more announcements yet to come out. So like I want to get out before the last sell the news event kind of deal, but I think it's still just getting ramped up. So
you had a really nice ride. Look at that parabolic move. But like you're mentioning, parabolic moves don't run for forever unless the greater blockchain gaming space absolutely takes off right now, which I'm not sure it's ready to. It'll probably pull back, is what your thought is too.
Yeah, and I think it has some room to go, like I said, this month, because there's so many announcements coming out to people that haven't heard them yet.
Okay.
But after those people in the crypto space have heard them, I think that's when the big pullback will happen.
And I have heard it being mentioned on some very big channels in this last few days, which is usually it starts to be my sell signal, right? Of like, oh, okay.
Yep. So that's where I'm at. Oh, it gained a 3. Since I last looked at the price, it was 2 or 1.2. Now it's 1.3. So I was good to stay in for another day.
Yeah, look at that move. That's been a crazy move when most other things haven't been, right? But you're going to start seeing some things popping off. Ecomi, which isn't so much a gaming project as a digital collectibles project, just announced some kind of partnership, and that partnership is going to be massive.
My Ecomi to the Moon shirt is in the laundry. I would have worn it today. So.
Nice. So what else is on your mind? What other blockchain games and projects are you thinking about?
Okay. Ember Sword is just a really, really solid team, really solid project. It's my biggest thing about it is the economy. Like games can either be pay to win or not. There's not really a middle ground there, because if you can pay for something to make your game better, then you kind of have to if you want to be top tier. Ember Sword is not pay to win at all. So what the NFTs you get in it and stuff are all cosmetic. Mm-hmm. And then the game maker just makes royalties on the cosmetics that are sold in that thing. That's kind of the economy behind it. I love RPGs. The controls need some work, but I don't think they've put in that much effort in the controls yet. And it's just a matter of, do you like the art style or do you not like the art style? It's I'm sure they're going to do a little bit more work in shading stuff and stuff, but it's kind of a different art style based on, go ahead.
So I've been following this game for 3 years, and they didn't really have anything investable till about a year ago when they launched their land. And the land has, went crazy from the initial price that you could buy at. The launch was kind of a CF. It was done terribly. Like my transactions got locked up and frozen, wasn't able to get any land on the initial drop, even though I had moved over enough to buy like huge portions. I wasn't able to get even one because my transaction froze, and wasn't able to get it unblocked. And it was on, I think, Polygon at the time. I think they've since moved over to Immutable X.
Correct.
But this one, they're doing another land sale coming up. Oh yeah, I forgot to put in the application. It's
Yeah,
10 days away.
you're gonna get it at about a 25% discount from floor price on like token Trove. Is my understanding from the prices they put out there. They're trying not to cut the current holders too much, but
It will end up having a little bit of that effect, but the company needs to raise money to continue building anyway.
Yeah, and it's been long understood that there would be more land sales, so
yeah,
nothing that they're dropping on people's heads all of a sudden. So
I feel like they are gamers, which is what I like about them. Is they were one of the biggest guilds. I think the game that they all met in was EverQuest, and they ran one of the biggest guilds, so they know this space. Was it EverQuest? It was one of the MMORPGs.
It's still one of the biggest, and the name is eluding me right now.
Yeah, it's the one where they went back and they made like the original version, and like the original version of the game with lesser graphics is doing super well. But RuneScape,
right? Yes. Yeah, a lot of Web3 people actually have a fond spot for RuneScape in their hearts.
So if they take this to Web3 and they make it Web3 enabled with true ownership and true marketplaces, and you get to capture some value by finding things, cosmetics and other items and selling them and having a true economy, this one's looking pretty good in my opinion. The only place you can really invest in, I guess they have some badges that I'm not sure what utility they have. You can buy. Majority.
I do want to talk about those badges because I'm highly tempted to sell some stuff, maybe WAGMI to roll into those badges, but I'm just trying to work out the timing for myself. So
what is the use of the badge?
The use of the badge, you get a title in the thing and it displays by your name. So it's a little bit cosmetic, but then they are coming out with a token, the Ember token. And basically the badge is the pre-sale for the Ember token, besides the seed rounds or investor rounds. They're the first that the public really gets to get their hands on the token. If my memory is right, I didn't have time to look it up, but there's four styles of badge: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. You can find this on Token Trove if you wanted to pull it up for you. But the bronze gives you 250 of the Ember token. The silver gives you 500. The gold gives you 2,500, and I think the platinum gives you 5,000 tokens. And I'm 90% sure that's to current holders when they come out with the token. So it's like an airdrop for when the token comes out. Yeah. Now, the total supply they have said in the past is going to be 2 billion Ember token.
Okay.
So 500 Ember token, 2 billion supply, it's like it would have to be a bull market when they come out with it for that to be worth like more than $1. However, so basically what I'm taking this as is minus seed rounds. This is kind of, you can get a market cap for the token before the token's out. Okay. If that makes sense, like the floor price, you take the floor price of these NFTs and you multiply it by the time, how many NFTs there are. I don't know if my math's right, but this is how I'm looking at it.
But when the token comes out, won't they also have like some seed or some other tokens, like vested part of the sale that would?
Probably. So so this is one piece of it is all I'm saying. So
okay.
And these are about a 50% discount from initial prices, I believe.
Oh, so they're selling it quite a bit less than the initial price.
I think the silver was $500 to start with.
The silver was okay, and it's sold for $250
I mean,
right
they
now.
are down, but it's just a matter of, and they have more utility than just, well, we have something special in store for our badge holders because we have we want to reward our people that have been here from the beginning. So whatever that means, I don't know, but it's also cosmetic in the game. I want this shiny one. I really want it super bad, the silver, but I know better in the bear market to just purely go after what you're looking for, unless you're already like a millionaire and billionaire. And
Yeah, let me just drop 15,000 on one of these platinum badges.
yeah, the
So,
funny
how
thing about
many
those
tokens was it? Like it was only 5,000 tokens as well. What did you say the number
something
was?
like
Oh, man.
I that's where my memory doesn't, because I kind of blanked out the top two because they were out of my price range back then.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it was like 2,500 for
Oh
the
my gosh.
the gold and 5,000 for the platinum. It could have been more. It could have been like another zero there, but I
Now,
don't
if the
know.
game does terrific, then the social flex of something like these badges will be really, really high. And that's
Yeah.
if the game does terrific. Though I do think it will do well. My interest has been more along the land side of it.
Yep, the land prices are pretty low right now. I have definitely, like, the original ones I bought are definitely so far underwater. I'm not even asking for them back from my brothers. I gave them to my brothers so they could be part of the
They test.
beta test, yeah, and everything. So I have my original one that I bought, and then I bought some more like this spring for about $100.
Yeah, they're at a really good price right now at $80 a pop. And people think, oh my gosh, that's a lot. Or they think that's not very much. And in my opinion, it's not very much. I bought Axia Land when it first launched. I think when this stuff first launched, they were going for 50, I think was their base price, right? But they went all the way up to about 600 or 700 and they pulled all the way back to 80.
At one point they were over 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, they popped over 1,000 for about a week.
Okay. So they've come all the way down to $80 floor price, which isn't too bad. Like what's crazy is the Axie Infinity Land. I was picking up Mystic Land when it came up, or Mythic Land, and it was about 1 ETH, which was about $70 or $80 at the time. And later those were going for $80,000 to $120,000 for just a plot of land that came in. You actually got a bundle when you bought a plot of land. You got a chest that came with all these items too. And so the appreciation when Axie Infinity went crazy was amazing. And it didn't even have any utility yet.
Yeah. The utility on these is interesting. You get a title in game, so that's kind of nice. But you get a revenue share of the items sold near your property. And you can kind of look on, if you scroll over a land plot on
Right.
on there, you can see that square that pops up. That's where you get the revenue from, if anything is sold within that territory. So ones near cities should theoretically generate more income, and towns, the purple are towns, the red are cities, should generate more income than the ones just out in the middle of nowhere without a way to sell things. You might possibly get it if good items drop on the land, but I don't suspect so. But they're trying to make it so that if you have land where there's a dungeon or something, you get revenue from that. So not sure the mechanics, nitty gritty of how that works out.
Right.
And the other
piece that covers this city, and you can pick it up for $95 worth of ETH, which is 0.0514 ETH. For those of you who aren't familiar with this site, this is tokentrove.com. They do a good job, and they have Gods Unchained on here, Across the Ages, Guild of Guardians, Illuvium, The Lost Glitches, Momo Guru, Titans of War Cards, Aradana, Book Games, and Block Lords. So
and I think more than that, I think that's just kind of the ones that they can fit on their sidebar there. Not sure.
Cool. Well, what else is on your mind?
Yeah, one more thing I'll say about the land is that if you have more than a regular piece, then you get to choose what buildings are on your land. So that's kind of cool in that if you have like a city plot, you could choose to have a teleporter there so that people can get to your land easier, or a marketplace, or So it's kind of a cool feature there. Okay, up and coming, Chumby Valley. It's so a big appeal to it is the aesthetic of it. I know that's not worth investing in, but hear me out. They're very well versed in tokenomics as far as what has worked and what hasn't worked. Are we still live?
Yeah. It looks like your internet's having trouble pulling up the screen. Oh, there it is.
No, okay. So I pulled up one Flight Rising. So this is one that I take for a use case on the Chumby NFTs. A dragon like this. This is Flight Rising, not a Web3 game, but you can cash out to fiat.
Interesting.
It's kind of a play to earn game. It's totally in the hands of the original founder.
So it's like it's kind of like a Web 2 type game, but integrating cash out, which kind of gives you some type of ownership. So almost like where blockchain gaming is going, but without being on the blockchain. But the only reason blockchain gaming is so exciting, or what makes it so powerful that everything's going to go there, is the idea of true ownership of your items.
And if the government gets a load of this, they could shut it down. Whereas if you have an NFT in your wallet, it's yours. Yeah. So I like that. But one of these dragons, this is a breeding game. And there's a bunch of mini games you can do to get items that help you breed stuff. And so like Chumby Valley is going to be. But one of these dragons that it was one of the originals. It had never been bred, and it had very rare features. Sold for like $3 million.
Oh my gosh, that is the kind of money. See, that's when people are like at the beginning, we were talking about how much money was in gaming in 2017. It was 116 billion that was generated. The type of money that's going to come in because of true ownership and because of appreciation, because of the ability to flex certain items, is going to vastly surpass that. And we saw Axie Infinity only reach the 10th most played game, which isn't very high. And yet the amount of money that came into Axie Infinity and the amount that the game maker made was just absolutely tremendous. And the game maker made money just by charging a slight transaction tax as things change hands, but they let the rest of the value go to those playing the game and breeding and doing other things. And so like this new model is going to revolutionize gaming. And the amount of money that will come in, that's crazy money though. $3 million for that item. Jeez.
Yeah. Not even on the blockchain. And it's just a bunch of internet gamers, mostly ladies, honestly, because they like breeding games.
Dragons, yep.
And they're just trading these things, and they're cute. These are the floor ones, so they're probably the uglier ones.
Is this Chumby, or is this the other game that had the $3 million sale?
No, this is Chumby.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not well versed enough to take you through that website. My wife is, but
right, because she likes the breeding and the dragons.
Yep, she is incredibly bullish on Chumby Valley, just because she sees a lot of the intricate dynamics woven through their game that made Flight Rising a really good game to where people are willing to spend millions of dollars on it. She sees those same threads going through Chumby Valley.
Can you breed these and get these different traits, kind of like Axie Infinity, but with much cuter characters?
Yes, so they're actually just announced in the last month or so. They have like bi-weekly Chumby Tuesdays, and they said that they're coming out with NFTs that help you breed for certain traits.
Interesting.
So yeah, and that you can craft in game. So these are the like 4,000, I think. Yeah, 4,096 Genesis ones. Now, Genesis ones, these are the only ones with these characteristics. However, like their characteristics, their offspring will breed into the Gen 1 Chumby. The only way to get Gen 1 is going to be through breeding. They're going to have a special breeding event that doesn't count towards these guys' breeding count. So I think each Chumby can only breed like 3 times.
Okay.
And then you can never breed it again. So that kind of takes a step up in the economics of it from Axie Infinity, because my understanding is any Axie could just breed to infinity.
What? No, you could breed it 6 times, but it got way
Okay.
more expensive each time, so it became cost prohibitive after about 3 or 4.
Okay, so slightly better, but not as good as I had hoped, but that's okay.
You know what I like, I never loved most of the Axies. They just weren't that relatable, the look of them. These are much cuter, which if you're trying to get women gamers, number one, easier if you go to mobile, because a lot of women will game on mobile versus having an intricate PC that can play the other games. But number two, the look is everything, and so I could see the appeal on this. What was it? Crypto Kitties did extremely well with men and women, and they were cute. And this has that cute factor. So I did pull up the chart. They do have a token. So this is Chumby value. You can find it on Coin Market Cap, and they're down 99% from its previous highs of about 16 cents up here. Or, well, it's showing 11 cents there. Now, I guess maybe it hit 16 cents, but it's all the way down to 0.00012, which is down about 99%. We don't know what the market cap is, but if all the tokens were in circulation, it would still be under a $4 million market cap, which means it's been heavily punished, just like just about every project, by the bear market, which means it's cheap and not expensive.
Vesting should be done in the next 6 months to a year. As far as they also, I mean, they have the keys to the contract, so I'm not sure if they had to make some deals last year to they kind of restructured their investment thing with investors. So they gave some refunds and some stuff because it got really punished. You know, that some investors were probably like, we have pennies on the dollar on this.
Which is often what happens in this, right? And we can actually see that in WAGMI's price, right? Because now this is the recent price, but before that, if we were to take this recent period off, how do we? Okay, Coin Market Cap doesn't want to ignore that part, but frequently stuff will. Oh man, okay, Coin Market Cap.
Yeah, they need trading view charts really, but
yeah, well, exactly. So a lot of times they fall off in the crypto winter. The same thing happened to me with Axie Infinity prices on the land that I bought. I didn't buy it at the bottom. I bought it when it launched, and this was January 2019. And for like the next 2 years, it did terrible, absolutely terrible. In fact, especially the first 18 months of that, it just went down so incredibly. It was like almost not even worth looking at or trading at. A $70 investment was probably worth $20. Not quite as bad as what the token has done here, but tokens often on new projects absolutely collapse in the bear market, especially as more tokens are coming out to pre-sell investors, and they usually sell those. And so you see this massive low. So what I like about this kind of price is like $100 gets you a whole lot of tokens, and looks like you can get them on PancakeSwap and Kucoin. So you can get a lot for
their NFTs are on Polygon, and their token is on Binance Smart Chain, because when they were originally writing their light paper, they wanted to be multi-chain. So they were launching different things on different chains to get things rolling. They just finished their what do you call it? Like the game's roadmap, the booklet that's like, this is what the game is. So it's they hired their like top tier game designer at the beginning of the year, and they've been hashing things out. So as far as their white paper goes, I think they're coming out in the next couple months.
Okay. So a lot of this stuff happens in the bear market, and this is when, like, what's so funny is human beings, we like to invest once we see everybody else buying in. It's this weird thing that we do that is like, we don't want to take a risk. We don't want to be the first one to jump in the pool. We love the concept of buying low so that we can sell high, but most don't have the courage to do it. They will just sit on the sidelines. They will wait till something actually does what we were looking at. Let me show you when most people start buying in. This is when most people start buying in, is when things go like this. And they're like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm going to buy, I'm jumping in. And right in time to like often catch a retracement. And it just is human nature, right? So they weren't buying WAGMI down here at half price of where it is now. They're buying it here after it's pumped. In fact, you could have got it for about, 1/3 of the current price. They start jumping in here and sometimes then catch a retracement. And then they think, oh, crypto's a scam, crypto sucks. But they're just new to investing, don't even realize that there's principles behind investing. And so they're making all the wrong moves. They get punished by the market, and then they're wondering why. Oh, yeah, crypto sucks. Crypto is amazing. The returns are amazing when you buy low and then you sell high. So
one thing I've liked about low market cap tokens in the bear market is usually, unless they have significant vesting happening, usually they don't actually sell off all that much when the majors sell off. At least a lot of the ones I've been holding haven't, because the people that are holding it like believe in the project. And it's like, if they would have sold, they would have sold. So it's like the three of us that are still holding the token still believe in it, so it's not going down any.
We've got Scoriox just sent me a message. He said my title is wrong, but Game Trove is T's channel. He said I've got my title wrong, but hey, go ahead and feel free to put anything in the comments, guys. Scoriox and I PM each other all the time, so appreciate the heads up. Now, speaking of that, we're talking about big blockchain games, or what we're bullish on. Talk to me about your thoughts on Illuvium Overworld and Illuvium Zero.
Yeah, it's one of the Illuvium Zero is one of the two games that I am currently playing, just because of time constraints. There are, just a side note, one of the biggest complaints I hear in the Web3 community about games is that we don't have a fun one to play yet, and I strongly disagree. If you look at Steam, for example, and just at what people are playing and the thousands, tens of thousands of games on there, most of them would fit into the same category as these people saying we don't have any fun games. But hopefully you can still hear me.
There we go. Yeah, we could hear you great. The screen froze for a minute. I tried to check and see if I could fix it.
Okay. So two thoughts on the games not being fun yet is one, most Web3 people are getting a little older. And as you get a little older, you don't, and myself included, you don't like as sweet of cake anymore, or like you can't handle as much sugar, or things aren't I'm as new, I guess. And so like getting back that childlike wonder is something I strive for, because I want to be excited about the things I do in life.
Okay.
So that being said, there are a year ago, it was very true that we didn't have very many AAA games at all. Today, we actually have a few. We actually have, I just downloaded a few weeks ago. I haven't had time to play it because I haven't had time to look in the tokenomics and whether it's actually worth my time to play as far as economically goes. But it's a AAA kind of Asian style RPG, MMO RPG, but it's where you it's like quest oriented. I mean, like rather linear, if that makes sense. But it also has PvP in it too. But the mobile RPG that looks better than a lot of RPGs that you can play on a PC. So it's like A3 Still Alive or something like that.
Is it fair to say that the very interesting where games are, blockchain gaming is like lagging behind as far as quality, interest level, and like the first iteration of blockchain games like Axie Infinity, there are people that like that style, but for me it was painful to play. Wasn't anywhere near what I'd like to play. You're kind of alluding to now it's getting more interesting, and which coincides with this question Javier Morales has, which blockchain game has the greatest related RuneScape vibe? Which is a good question.
Probably Ember Sword, and it's unfortunately not playable yet. There are quite a few. I just saw like if you want a good place for going to see like Solana based ones, Fractal.is has a ton of different game genres and some RPGs that are decently close to RuneScape there, but a lot of playable ones there for Solana. There's a lot of different sites that have that are like Steam for Web3.
So Javier has this question. Let me show you where I'm sharing the wrong screen, but I've got Ember Sword pulled up here so I can show you. It's Ember Sword like this, Ember like a fire ember sword.
Yeah, I'm pulling up a screenshot or three.
Yeah. So it's got kind of a RuneScape type vibe. Wes asked a question on what I cover a lot, which is the Akomi token and Bumper token, and which one I'm more bullish on. I'm like, there is no way I would go all in on Bumper token, but Bumper could far outperform Illuvium, or not Illuvium, but Omi if it does well. So like they have different risk characteristics. Bumper is more risky, but if Bumper went really, really well and got some massive adoption, a lot of people were using, a lot of people talking about it, and we don't know like the actual alpha, or not alpha, but testnet and mainnet are not live yet. And so it's at a risky point that maybe that never comes together. But if it does, it could see 100x, 200x, 1000x, 3000x. Omi has already had some massive gains, so I don't know that Omi would make like 1000x or 2000x. So I like both of them, but they are different levels of risk.
Yep, I own both personally, so I I do own more Bumper than Omi,
Yep.
but I bought Bumper in the middle of the bear market, whereas I almost caught it at the lowest price it was, but
from December.
it was like New Year's Eve. Somebody was wash trading it, and I saw it go down, and I'm like, I'm planning to buy this in the next couple days, but I can't get home to my PC to buy it. So I would have bought it at like the third of the price, but it was $200 buy. I bought more later too as money came in. But, anyway, I almost caught it at like 12, 1.2 cents or whatever it was.
Hey, Javier or Wes, thank you so much for the super chat. And love to have your questions, guys. What other games are on your mind? And what I like is you've dug a lot more into the games. I've tried to dig into some of them. I get overloaded with so many new games and digging in and going through the learning curve with them. I'm not able to do it at the level that I would like to.
If you like higher risk, this is Tiny Colony. It's a passion project at this point because they had to go back to their day jobs because they lost. They had all their money in Solana when FTX happened, so they lost a lot of their runway. But it's pixel art. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen when I hit that. It's been a little while, but it's like a city builder game. NFTs are super cheap right now. They're NFT heroes. They're NFT land plot or colonies. You dig down. You can build a colony and extract resources. Base defense. So a bunch of zombie ants come down and try to attack you, or and there's quests and everything. So if it comes together, it should be pretty cool. I like pixel art. Just as an example of something that is a little late on, Gala Games Dragon Strike. It might not be late, but if you want a free to play to get an NFT and sell it later, it's been 6 months of me playing this on my phone. Kind of enjoying it. Not particularly my favorite, but I'm like 2 weeks away from being able to sell my first 5-star NFT.
Nice.
On it. So
and that was all earned too, right?
Yeah, just playing it on my phone. And the biggest thing is the buildings take time to which you can speed up with gems, but you have to play a lot to earn the gems to speed up your building. So I've just been doing it the slow way, getting in and upgrading buildings as I can get it. So yeah, that's one example of like play to earn is a real thing. It just takes time, and you have to catch things at good times, either early or after they've lost popularity but are going to get it back. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, so things.
And then you gotta think
when you factor in the crypto side of things, that like the crypto cycles create such massive swings. So like we had Facebook announce they were changing their name to Metaverse, and so everyone's like, oh, Metaverse is going to be a thing. And so then also blockchain gaming went absolutely nuts when that happened. And it overpumped, and then the pendulum swings too far the other way, which for investors like me get me excited because I like to buy cheap when everyone's not paying attention more. They've all gone to sleep, and they're like, oh, it's so crazy, and it's going to zero, and I'm like, that's music to my ears. That's what I listen for. And I'm like, hey, you guys keep doing your thing, I guess, but I'm going to be buying while it's cheap. And I'll be selling to you, I guess, later when you guys come in after everyone else has come in. So.
Yeah. I think also once crypto games are basically just games, like if you don't have crypto, it's like, what's wrong with your game? Once we reach that point, I still think there's going to be tons of arbitrage within the gaming space.
Yes.
Because different people are interested in vastly different games. And it's kind of like you were saying last night or last night or the night before on around the Ecomiverse, that there's still arbitrage within VV, even though within the NFTs, or I think it was actually one of the other guys was saying, talking about his trades and like the strategy of going back and forth and stuff. And it's like there's arbitrage all the time in any collectible scenario. So time arbitrage, like who's going to spend the time to mine these NFTs out of the games by playing them? And then like, is it more worth your time to do that, or is it more worth your time to buy them at the right point and then sell them? Or are you playing the game anyway because you like to game in your off hours, and hey, these things are worth something to somebody,
It's going to open up a lot of opportunities for arbitrage playing the games. So years ago, I played EVE Online. This is 2003, 2004. And it had been open for about 6 months before I started playing it. So I felt like I was playing it late. But back then you could actually sell the items on eBay and nobody was really enforcing it. And so earning money in the game could equate to earning money in real life, because you could like sell actually the money through eBay and then just get their player name and send it to them in the game, and you were selling it for real money. And that was all locked down and shut down by the different companies like World of Warcraft and EVE Online later, like shut down any abilities to do that. And if they found you doing that, they would ban your account. And so that idea was around 20 years ago, like literally 20 years ago. But now it's not only like it's getting to a point that's unstoppable. That's the way it's going to go, because players are going to demand it, because they're going to want to be able to do it. And what's crazy is it's going to amplify the amount of money in gaming, and you will have businesses where these businesses employ people that all they do is play the games, and then they make some kind of money. And will also open up arbitrage opportunities for people that are pretty smart and see these ins and outs. Like when I was playing EVE Online, I was still somewhat poor player. I found that in like deep space, if you took like big battleship level guns, you could buy them in like safe space for like 100,000, and you could sell them for like 3 million way out in deep space. And so I would like have my little cheap ship, and I would try to avoid the pirates and the players that would try to kill me. And I'd get out there, and then I would put them on the marketplace out there, and I would make like 15 million. I was so happy because I was, making money and like growing. And there will be those kind of arbitrage opportunities.
While we're on that note, I want to share a story why the other reason why I don't like first of all, my gaming background. I've been a gamer my whole life. Super Nintendo, Super Smash Brothers, and Halo, strategy games like Total Annihilation, if anybody knows that. Anyway, just love games. This game is one of the reasons why Web3 games need to happen. So you can get profile pictures by doing weekly event or weekly events anyway. And getting to a high level in the high scoring, and your team gets to a high scoring, and you get to get gems or profile pictures or whatever. And spending gems, it's pay to win. So spending gems would, you can get further and get higher tier profile pictures. So I'm playing this game, having a pretty good time. My wife and I would play it, and then I'm just grinding this game because this season I'm not into horror games, and they were going a horror route that season, so all the profile pictures weren't appealing to me. So I'm just like, okay, I'll wait. Next season, horror. Next season, horror. Next season, horror. And they never had a season. So I'm just racking up these gems. And if I were to buy them from the company, and I don't have a lot of extra spending money, it would have been like $2,500 worth of gems that I just have in my vault. just waiting for them to come out with a good season that I can unleash the gems and get something I really liked. And I can't even take this profile out of the game. I just wanted something good for all my, time in the game. And, I got these gems, I want to spend them. And so finally I just quit the game because I'm like, you guys aren't coming up with anything that I want to spend my gems on. And yeah, I mean, it's sad that I have this much time and these gems just sitting here, but so my point is I stayed playing this game far longer than I would have, could have, should have, because of that trapped value. And if it were a crypto game and the team wasn't doing what I wanted, nothing wrong with continuing the seasons the way they were. Some people like that, probably most of their player base, but I would have just moved on to and took my gems, sold them, bought something in a game I actually wanted to play, and had a much better time playing that other game. Whereas for probably a year and a half, I'm playing this game that I'm actually not all that interested in. I just am hoping they come up with something I want, and so now I kind of hate that game. And I'm like, Web3 needs to happen. I mean, you don't want to turn gamers into slaves.
What is fun is that it is coming and it's going to happen. And it's a lot of fun when it happens if you took the time while everything's slow to make and take smart positions. Now, I did buy like Axie Infinity back before anyone talked about it. When I tried to talk to people about Axie Infinity and Axie Infinity Land, they just thought I was crazy because they hadn't heard about it. None of the major channels were covering it in crypto. And so they just kind of looked at me weird until later. They're like, oh, that was that thing that Rain was talking about. Oh, I get it, as it went 3000x. And so, like, I don't know that a lot of these will do 3000x. Back then, like, Axie really, really hit a home run, and so it went massive. But you make really good returns, even if you're not getting like a 3000x. Even at a 10 or 20 or 30 or 50x, that far exceeds what you would do in the S&P 500 over like a 7 to 15 year timeline. And so, like, those kind of returns can be great. And, I'm an investor. I would say I'm like 100% investor. I'm like 30% gamer. I did sit down and try to dig into all the games and got totally overloaded. So what I realized is I could play some of them. I can't play all of them and try to figure it out. It just overwhelmed me. But like some of the bigger ones I've been playing, like Illuvium Overworld, Illuvium Zero, love Illuvium Zero. It's at the level of kind of what you expect from regular gaming. And Overworld is close to that, even though both of them are just their beta stage. So we're starting to see the regular games come online and be what we're used to. And that's really exciting. We'll see more of that as well. Now, have you played Litcraft at all?
Yes, Litcraft is I think one of the better games out there as far as things to do. It's kind of like a arcade right now. I would put it as a bunch of arcade games put together. They do have like a Minecraft graphics type shooter and a work in progress RPG in a Minecraft style. So that's pretty cool. The economics of it, I think, are great. I haven't been playing it lately as much because of time. Not that it's not worth my time. I just there's only so much of me to go around. But the thing that hung me up was I was collecting heptals from my business, from my land plots. I have 3 of them, and then I had to actually build a business, and I haven't to get those heptals now. And while I want to do that, I haven't. I hit a few roadblocks to building that business. I'm not sure if you can get your hands on marketing points, but I'm pretty sure you need yet because they haven't done their Lit Legion yet. But I'm pretty sure you need those in order to start your business. So I'm kind of in limbo on that one. There's other things I could earn that would help my businesses later. So it's something I do want to spend some time on. I do enjoy their mini games, but I just haven't been there.
What's crazy is that game is the most fleshed out game in the blockchain gaming space right now. By fleshed out, meaning it's not in alpha, like it's kind of in beta / live, but like everything you earn is like live, it's yours. And so it's not going to be wiped or reset later. Obviously, they're still in development. Obviously, I'm highly biased towards this game. I am an advisor to the project themselves. I'm invested in the parent company pretty heavily. The parent company, Devio, has a blockchain that can do 8 million transactions per second. And people, when they hear that, they almost don't believe it. There isn't a token you can yet buy, and that's why a lot of people haven't heard of it, because you can't buy a token. There's nothing to invest in right now. So then people are kind of like, oh, there's nothing I can invest in right now. But the token will be out, and there will also be in the game, like you can go in and totally free, and you can build, like you can make lit pets and craft them and do all these different things. And there is a marketplace already connected for the game that you can sell things that you can get, and a lot of active daily users playing it.
You touched on no token yet. The game does have it has a thing that's highly useful in the game called heptals.
Yeah.
That you can. The simplest way to earn it is get good at the what do you call it? A MOBA game? The MOBA game? No. Anyway, where you have 3 lines and you can. There we go. You can spawn your players on any of those 3 lines, and
you're talking about the battle game. Yeah.
You can earn like 100 per day, I think, just playing that. And if you're good at it, like I can get to about level 8, and so at level 1 you earn 1 heptal. At level 2 you earn 2. So by level 8 you've earned like 40 heptals, and I'm not sure what you can currently sell those for, but once the businesses get rolling, they'll want heptals to level up. So do you know the end use case for those? Can you you need them to craft lit pets.
Yes.
So that's the thing, more powerful lit pets.
Yes, exactly. And the more you put in, it is an RNG generator as far as what level of lit pet you'll get. So you can figure out the recipe essentially to create a lit pet, and you'll know which kind of lit pet you're going to be creating. But you can insert more heptals into that craft, and it will give you a higher chance to get a higher level of it. So the highest being level 7. And it will be almost impossible to craft a level 7. The only way to get a for sure level 7 is from the Genesis sale that already happened. But it will be possible to craft a level 7. It will just be really, really, really rare. So more likely you're going to get a level 3, 4, 5, or 6, even if you put a significant number of heptals in there. So you can earn heptals every day by playing. I think to have even a chance to craft like level 3 and above, I think you have to put in a certain number of heptals minimum. And so that's kind of the burn mechanism between the heptals. But the heptals token isn't something you buy in the game, though it is on the marketplace. You can buy it. It's something you earn through playing.
Yeah.
So Abe asked about Cryptopolis or Outer Ring.
I have not. Sorry. You said something earlier in the stream that I'm like, yeah, there are a lot of crypto games now. Like, I don't think even the streamers that have been going for 2 years, somebody will ask them, hey, have you done that? No, I haven't heard of it. Like even Stash has run into games that he's like, oh, I'm gonna go check that out. So the space is getting a lot of games, and some even quality games that people haven't heard of yet, and that just means more arbitrage opportunity if you find a good one. I haven't found a really good website for digging them up. I just kind of hear about them here, there, and check maybe places like Fractal and different places for researching them. But mostly I just have YouTube videos that YouTube content creators that don't have that many followers yet, but cover play turn games, and they'll be going through different ones, and I'll go, oh, that one looks good, and then I'll research it, and yeah, that's my MO. I like learning through video. So
yeah, me too. I like video learning as well, because I pay for the subscription with YouTube so that I don't get any of the ads. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh, those ads drive me nuts. I don't have time in my day for that. So I don't remember what the charge is, but it was worth it, so I'd never run into those ads again.
Also, if you're listening on your phone, you can just have it in your pocket without the screen on if you have the premium. So that's very helpful if you're doing something like exercising or work that doesn't take full brain power. Then you can get a lot of info.
And we'll see. Like
you asked me about Illuvium.
Okay, yeah, let's dig into Illuvium.
You asked me about Illuvium. I sidetracked it, and I didn't mean to too much. And I want to give Scoriox, if he's still here, his Illuvium fix for the day. So, Illuvium 0, I have 3 plots. So 3 basic plots, and my theory was that I wanted to go for the blueprints more than the fuel. So I chose to have more land so that I could have more blueprints. Now that strategy may or may not have worked out for this round. I think in future rounds, like after the public beta, you might have to be quick to get the blueprints rather than just try to get a lot of them, because I think they're going to be more scarce. Not sure about that, but so I did tier 1. Tier 2 and above will let you go a lot faster because you don't have caps on things, as severe caps on things, and your resources generate on tier 2. It's like 30% faster, which is a lot in this game. I enjoy playing it. I don't like having to click through, oh, hey, you gained another level, and that's another click.
Yes. The little pop-up that gets in your way on the level thing all the time.
I want to click on, I don't mind clicking on buildings because it is a clicker. I want to click on buildings, but I don't want to click on a building and then another menu comes up, and then are you sure you want to start the fuel process? I just want one click for certain things, or left click it to start its primary function or something like that. Would increase my enjoyment of it. The other thing with this sort of thing is it reminds me so much of Clash of Clans that I wish there was, I know they have the auto battler and this does feed into it, but I wish they had, and they're probably going to come out with it eventually, a battle, a city versus city battle that would, or maybe a bunch of plants swarming you or something. I don't know. Some sort of combat would be cool with this sort of game. Yeah, I recognize that's not the gear towards, but that's what my brain goes towards, because I like strategy games. I like the combat of strategy games.
Yeah, and on this side, this is just the fuel resourcing. Here's my tier 3. They fixed some of the problems so I can actually play with my main account that was kind of broken for a while, and the customer support has been awesome. Absolutely phenomenal at such an early stage. I was blown away by just how smart the people were at customer support trying to figure this out. And they got back to me way faster than I could handle. They'd be waiting on me. They'd be like, they would turn around some things pretty quickly to me and ask me for more information. And I was like, I don't have time. So they often waited on me a couple of days, and I was like, I apologize, but I'm busy. Like, I can't get you that. So
Hey, Abe, if you want to put those links to those sites for those games in the Discord, I can check them out for you if you want at a later time. With Illuvium, with the Overworld, full disclosure, I have not played it, nor the Auto Battler, but I have researched it on YouTube videos. My favorite way to research things other than just playing it, but I really love the concept of the Overworld, in that it's a 3D, in my opinion, I haven't heard this anywhere, but it's a 3D platformer where your goal is to go get these alluvials and resources. And that's why the Overworld is so massive, because you have a lot of different ways of getting places. So they had to make the scale of it so huge that you have to figure out how to get these places. That's just my bird's eye view of from not playing it. And I like the idea of that a lot. I heard that they introduced plants that can kill you, which is cool. I'm not sure how effective they are at that, but more effective the better, to make it more challenging, in my opinion. At least for the hard areas where you get the top tier alluvials, that'd be cool.
I would say Illuvium Overworld's pretty good so far. I put a lot of time into it, especially in the earlier release, and it sucks to have everything reset, and even what you're doing now will get reset. But it does get a little bit dull playing over and over again, but it's early stages, right? So it's pretty frequent a problem at this. It is like 7 times better than most of what's out there in blockchain gaming. So when I say a little bit dull, that's only when I compare it to the top level AAA level games. And so it is cool that you catch these alluvials and you can own them. And then in order to use stuff in the auto battler, you have to buy it from someone, or you got to go catch it yourself. And that's really cool. And that these will be limited, and they'll be like phased out, and like there'll only be so many caught, and then they'll never be made exactly like that again. I imagine they'll reuse kind of the mechanics. So say, for example, Scoriox. There's a Scoriox in the actual game that's like a fire-breathing dragon. Well, in the future, they might reuse kind of the model and animation, but make it an ice creature. But like, say, the fire version of it, because it's the original, is really, really popular, and say 7 to 20 million people start playing the game in the future, a bunch of people are going to want that original Scoriox as a flex piece, and it would drive up demand for those original ones and the fire breathing ones, and that's when the value goes crazy.
Yeah, I was going to say about Illuvium in general is, would you agree that each of these games by themselves is okay? It's new. It's a kind of different take on each of these genres, but then I think once you're able to actually play all three and they feed into each other, so that you're doing a little in Illuvium 0, and then you go to the Overworld, and then you go to the Auto Battler, that loop will actually turn up the enjoyment 10 times.
It will increase the enjoyment, because then the function is there. What's interesting about the investment side of it, which is really what fascinates me, I love things that go up and down in value. And so is, if you combine a couple things, like remember what happened when Facebook talked about the metaverse and all that went crazy. So if people start coming in and playing these games at the same time as they're all being discussed, the pendulum swings too far. And so it's too far down now, and it'll swing too far up. And that's what I'm looking forward to as an investor. And that'll be really exciting. And I'll probably get some of these alluvials. hopefully catch them and probably just keep a bunch of them, unless the prices just go so high. I just can't stand to not part with majority of them. But like, this is the early days. It's amazing what some of these early game items might sell for. If you think about what original unopened Nintendos are selling for now, think about what some of these big games and some of the first generation of items might sell for 10 or 20 years from now, when blockchain gaming is the thing. They won't call it blockchain gaming. They'll just call it gaming. But they'll be talking about blockchain games, and the items, the original items, will be what's so valuable. And almost nobody will have them because we're so early. We're here, and it's just like, seems like it's no big deal. Just like holding a Nintendo from 20 years ago in its original box, people would have said you were crazy and dumb, and what are you doing? But now they sell for, in some cases, tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Wouldn't you say that, as an investor, I have this question because my dad told me this, and I'm wondering if he's right. When you invest, you at least have to like it. Is that somewhat true in that, like, I mean, there are some things that it's obvious this is going up, and well, I'll hold my nose and buy it. If you don't like it, then you're not going to believe in it as much. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Well,
so I tried playing Axie Infinity, and I didn't love the gameplay. I earned half enough of the small smooth love potion in order to breed once. I only earned half before I wanted to claw my eyes out, and I just bought the rest of it so I could try the breeding mechanism and see how it worked. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that was so painful, because it wasn't my type of gameplay, but I still love the investment side of it. And I love that other people loved it, even though it just wasn't my type of gameplay. So I don't know on that. I would say I invest in things that I don't necessarily love, but I do enjoy more investing in the things that I do love, right? So I think what he's saying has a point, but can't be taken all the way to the extreme.
It's probably for a lower tier investor than you, in that, if you like it, you'll probably know more about it. So that's, and also the other reason he said that, I think, was because you might be stuck with it for a while.
Yeah.
And if you have a painting on your wall that you hate.
That's true. Hey, Bill. What's going on, brother? Thanks for joining. Yeah, well, that's actually, it's about time to wrap up. Do you have any parting thoughts on any games out there that are on your mind that we haven't discussed yet?
My mind is going blank tonight, but maybe we can dangle the carrot for next time. I will definitely
have some.
There are ones in here. I don't have them at the forefront right now. So
I love that you've dug far more into the other games that are playable and playing. In some of our prior conversations, I was like, okay, I love how much you've put research. It's research and work into this, and kind of playing them and figure out what has a chance of success. How good is the gameplay? And a lot of games fail. Thankfully, in the crypto space, what's crazy is we get these big waves of momentum come in, so that sometimes even games that might ultimately fail, you might make a lot on the as an investor if the game's still alive, and then a big wave of momentum comes and it seems like everything pumps if it's still alive, and then you can sell into that, and then wait to buy it back in the next bear market when if it's still showing signs of life and it's gotten some user adoption. Cool. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah,
thank you so much for joining us. All right, I'm going to play the Rainmaker rap for all of you. You guys know what this is about. Yeah, we enjoyed your alpha. Thanks, T.
Came into the space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, shit, buy before you're good. Was told to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always make the time in mind. I take the one out cause I'm patient like that. And I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't leave with my heart. Principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, go parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy but with knowledge the game show. Sticking out this road cause soon will come a bear market. Learning and growing and when it's slow will be the target. They say it's come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. Sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time the ball will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go of the hate, let the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, the time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough. And that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on